Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are still working a little bit on our MB mining module. We've almost got this done though. It's looking real nice. I just want to turn this, not like that. I want to turn this like that. There we go. Make sure that our struts are connected, which they are not. We'll redo the struts. Fantastic. We've got a reaction wheel in our Hex 2, so that should be fine. That'll save us a little bit of weight. Make sure that these tanks are completely empty. They are indeed. Okay. I think we are ready to send this thing. Let's just double check our staging. That looks good. Detach off the side tanks once they're empty. Detach off the main tank once that's empty, and the main tank is like half the size of the small tanks, or the side tanks. But then we fire our maneuvering stage, and then we detach our nose cone. Yeah, that's fine. And then we detach our maneuvering stage and fire our sky crane, and then we detach our sky crane and it flies off. All good. Okay. Let's go. Hopefully, we won't have that exciting turning motion that we had immediately at launch previously. That was very difficult to arrest. But now that we're actually straight up, that should help things a lot. Like, the game is clearly not designed for what I'm trying to do here. For one thing, I would much rather this be in a fairing, but that's just not an option right now. Okay. Off we go. Well, that's looking good. Our thrust to weight is really quite high. We might want to thrust limit this. Okay, what's our apoapsis looking like? With all of this outside, yeah, I'm going to actually throttle down here as we pass through max Q. There we go. We are passing through max Q. And now let's go ahead and throttle back up. It is trying to pitch this way a little bit, but SAS is holding it just fine. Apoapsis is getting on up there. I'm doing a late gravity turn again because with all of this exposed stuff, I have no confidence that we're not going to be doing a backflip. But let's go ahead and gravity turn now. Oh, it's trying to overshoot. I'm fighting it. Okay. I think we've managed to hold it. Oh, I was afraid of that. I needed to get rid of those, but we needed to be on a stable trajectory when those tanks ended, or when those tanks detached. So let's go ahead and revert back to launch. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine with reverting this at any point throughout the ascent. Our apoapsis was good there. I'm going to go ahead and thrust limit these a little bit before we launch. I'm just going to do it out here, so it'll only apply to this one. I'm going to thrust limit them to about 75%, because I feel like we had too much thrust. There we go. And let's go. That feels a little bit better. So the straight up portion was working fine. It didn't want, and in fact the turn portion was working fine. It was when we were trying to stop the turn. So I think that just means that I need to take the gravity turn a little bit more slowly. At least that's going to be what I'm going to take away from that. Okay. We are passing through max Q pretty much now-ish. So that's good. I'm going to go ahead and bring this engine and this engine only to 100%. It's the center engine, so we shouldn't be having any issues with that. We are drifting a little bit, but SAS is keeping it under control. It's trying to roll a little bit as well, but it's keeping that under control nicely as well. So let's go ahead and begin our turn here. I'm just going to take the turn nice and slow. Aerodynamics are trying to flip us, but we need to stabilize right now because we're going to be dropping our tanks soon, and we have to be going very straight for that. Perfect. Okay. Let's now get this guy flat on the horizon. Oh, come on. It's kind of waggling all over. Okay, there we go. Apoapsis is already relatively high. But time to apoapsis, oh, it is increasing a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut throttle. And we've got plenty of time to apoapsis, so I'm just going to add a maneuver here. And we're going to do something kind of like that. More like that. That'll be fine. We'll just go ahead and lock to that maneuver node. And while I'm thinking about it, let's get our solar panels off, brake action group on. We're now in space, so I'm not okay with reverting at this point. Okay. We do have electric charge not coming in, because we're blocked by thermal control systems. That'll probably change. Node in T-minus 1 minute 50 seconds. Burn time of 59 seconds. So we're going to want to burn this at about 30 seconds left. So I'm going to go ahead and warp forward a little bit here. So right about now is when we want to burn. And we're just locked to the maneuver node. So our electric charge is fine right now, but we do have a lot of our solar panels appear to be blocked. At least at this angle. Now this angle isn't going to be the same angle, so hopefully our other angles will be fine. But this did not actually get us fully into orbit, did it? Well, it might, actually. Oh, no, not quite. We'll have to use our maneuvering stage a little bit. That's okay. We should have plenty of Delta V to make this happen. Excellent. I'm going to cut the throttle here pretty soon. I'm not paying attention to this, I'm paying attention to this. And we're good enough. Okay, so our electric charge is actually fine because we have changed our angle a little bit, so that's perfect. Let's go ahead and set our destination as being Minmus, and let's change our inclination. So our next inclination change is going to be, or our next opportunity for it is going to be over here at the ascending node. So let's go ahead and, yep, this is the correct direction. Let's change our inclination to be, nope, we can't get to 0.0. Okay, good enough. So let's just go ahead and lock to that maneuver. And then once we get there, actually, we don't need this nose cone anymore here. So let's just go ahead and ditch that guy off in a direction that we don't care about. That'll get us slightly higher thrust to weight, which is always nice. And then now that we are in position, we will go ahead and warp to next maneuver. Fantastic. This will be a 25-second burn, 224.3 meters per second. So we're going to want to burn this at T-minus 12.5 seconds. So I'm just warping forward a little bit further here. So in about 7 seconds. And off we go. Well, we're not really going anywhere, we're just changing our inclination. We'll be going to Minmus very shortly. It is so much nicer when we can just lock to the maneuver node. Makes things so much easier. Okay, I'm just going to throttle down a bit as we finish off this node. Good enough. Okay. We are at very close, so let's go ahead and get ourselves an encounter with Minmus. Probably about at the ascending node, judging by where we are right now, is where we're going to want to burn this. Something along the lines of that. That's close. More like that. And let's hop over to Minmus, see what that encounter looks like. That is pretty gorgeous. That's pretty close to what we want. Maybe a small inclination change, if we can help it. Something like... maybe a bit of rate... what just happened there? Oh, I think I moved the node. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's get in here. What's that inclination looking like? I guess it's fine. That'll have to do. So let's just get it in a little bit closer. That is close enough. We can change the inclination once we get there if I'm so inclined. Get it? Huh? Huh? Okay, fine. I'll stop. That's, puns are my specialty, but they're an acquired taste. Okay, so let's go ahead and warp to our next maneuver. And we are going to go ahead and get this burn done. So this is going to burn off not quite half of our maneuver stage, so we're going to have plenty of maneuver stage once we get there. One minute and 25-second burn. So we're going to want to burn this at about, what, 12.5 plus 30, so 42.5 seconds. Sounds good. So about now. And off we go, rocketing towards Minmus. Literally. Fantastic. Now I would physics warp this, but I'm really, really concerned about any potential clipping going on here and physics warping. I think it's a bad idea, so I won't do it. In the meantime, however, I will say that once this burn finishes up, I think, well, I mean, obviously we're going to need to circularize, do a braking burn once we get to Minmus. I'm just trying to decide if I have time to do that this episode or not. It's another 30 seconds on this burn, so I think I kind of don't. So after this burn, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in, and next episode we are going to do some inclination changing after a braking burn. And we're going to set this thing down on Minmus and take it over to our base and start producing fuel. However, until then, subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.